This full moon, we may experience heightened sensitivities and emotional depths, but also there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Hi, I'm Karina, your lucid living coach. I am a healing arts astrologer, and I'm here to give you the full moon and Cancer report. So as you can see, I am in a winter wonderland, and I am giving you this information straight out of the North Pole. The full moon in Cancer is at 4 degrees on December 26th, the day after Christmas. And this is a very sensitive time. We could be experiencing a lot of stuff around our family and our home and our emotions and our security. Now, during this dramatic and emotionally charged time, to balance these emotions, well, we could express the feelings artistically. That's one. I'm hosting a paint and sip January 14th at 2:00 downtown Martinez. If you're interested, go ahead and go to my website, LUCIDLIVINGMOVEMENT.com. And another way is to accept and fully experience every emotion without repression or censors, no matter how intense. By experiencing these extremes, one may learn to recognize the central place of balance. Now, Cancer encourages everyone to go deep sea diving. One's true self is found when alone and when no one is watching. So who are you? Building the foundation of life through the warmth and nurturing of love, nurturing wise, supportive love. Redefine what the home is. It's not always the 3D walls that surrounds us, but it is these rooms inside of us. It's the entirety of one's soul inside. It is the wholeness of life, which consists of relationships, friendships, career, love. And the real question is, how illuminated are each of these rooms within us? Do we need to change any light bulbs? So being a disciple of Cancer is being a service to humanity and seeing it as the foundation, as a role to play in the foundation of humanity. So we are building a home that is safe and secure and that we feel comfortable in. So what are the things that we need to change in our careers, in our family dynamics, in our loving relationships, or the lack thereof? Cancer is ruled by the moon. The moon is the mother. It is a cardinal water sign, and it is about emotions. It emphasizes the lunar qualities of nurturing, intuition, and it highlights our connection to our home and family. Now, the 4 degrees placement indicates the person may feel these emotions strongly and may be intuitive, compassionate, and protective. It is in the first decan of Cancer. So it is initiating something. We are all trying to take action in the time of intrograde, introspection. So the retrograde Mercury is conjunct Mars, where we're trying to push forward. We're trying to make things happen. But before we can move forward, we need to come in terms with what we are reconsidering, recalculating, making sure that we are going to power forward in this new year in the right direction. We are desiring security and emotional well-being. Now, the sun in Capricorn is opposite this moon, and this sun is trine to Jupiter. So there is a lot of good fortune and good luck around this full moon. We're rethinking and replanning the next course of action in the area of our chart. So look at where Capricorn is in your chart, specifically 4 degrees of Capricorn. well, and the 25th degree. So of Sagittarius, because Mercury retrograde is at 25 of Sagittarius. It is retrograding back to the lower degrees of Sagittarius. So we want to be looking in our chart where Capricorn is, as well as Sagittarius, to see where this is affecting us. So we will be planning an escape from our current jobs or careers or business, or relationships that aren't working. We're looking to make the best plan for our daily routines, fitting it in this new health regimen, this new workout, meal planning or prepping, classes that we're taking, or passion projects that we are that we had initiated at the new moon in Sagittarius. Now, Mercury is in conjunction with this Mars, and for as far as Mercury retrograde goes, anyone that's more analytical or left brain will become more intuitive and more introverted. And then those that are more extroverted will become, those that are more introverted will become more extroverted, or more, those that are usually more intuitive or right brained will then be more analytical and grounded. So for me, I always love Mercury retrogrades because I feel that I become a little more analytical in the sense of like grounded than being like less heady, like intuitive and more heady. So I could like, so it's like people that use more head are going to use more of their heart, and those that use their heart are going to use more of their head, if that makes any sense. So with Mars here, Mars is anger and passion and drive. And so these projects that may have been like, the projects may not have the energy to go like 0 to 100 like we would like it to be or want it to be, as it is the holidays, it is retrograde Mercury, and we probably have plans, and we have to like kind of slow things down and like do a little recap or reassess, like reassessing things. Now, Venus is at 26 degrees of Scorpio. This is the feminine energy, and the things that we value and we love is going through a rebirth and a transformation, and will rise from the ashes soon. Saturn is at 2 degrees of Pisces. It will be moving into Aries in May of 2025. And so there is this, collapse of the old world and systems, value systems, everything like that, because also Pluto's at the last degree of Capricorn. And this is the same energy that we had from March of this year, March to June, when Pluto was in Aquarius and then dropped back into Capricorn. So Pluto was in Aquarius, and we were just getting our toes wet of what this next, 15 to 20 years are going to look like with Pluto and Aquarius. And what I had seen was there was a lot of death, right? We should expect to see more. More will be exposed around big pharma, legacy media, and the government systems. The government and all these systems are being exposed, and they're being broken down so we could rebuild them with more authenticity and value. This will be the last Capricorn transit with Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto will enter into Aquarius in January. It will re-enter for a small portion of Capricorn next year. And Pluto's been in Capricorn since 2008. So think back, like what had started for you in 2008. You could also look at where Capricorn is in your natal birth chart. That'll give you some clues. And what has changed in your career, in your work, in the last 16 years? What started in this area And how have you transformed since? Now, Pluto and Aquarius will be reassembling the true meaning of social security. What is social? Social reform refers to interactions and relationships between individuals within community, friendships, and families. And security is the state of feeling safe and being free of danger or risk or harm. Now, does that define our social security system? I don't think so. I don't really know anyone who feels secure with just social security. Everyone is trying to have like savings, retirement, 401ks, like all these other things, because our social security system is not what it says it is. Social security, the meanings of those words do not define what it actually is. I remember when I was 19 and I was traveling in Thailand, and there was this old white guy. He had a cane, and I was talking to him. I was like, "Oh, where are you from?" And he said, "The United States." He said when he retired, he was living off of Social Security and it wasn't giving him enough money. And he couldn't afford even rent in the United States. And so he moved to Thailand. He's like, "I live like a king here." He just really loved it. And so it just shows like, yeah, we can be working into the system and working and working, and it just might not be good enough. As inflation has happened and rent is raised, like no one could afford rent, like especially retired people, unless they have owned a house and invested in a house. Not everybody has. So these are the things that are going to be looked at, like humanity, group welfare. The philanthropists are going to be really needed in this Pluto and Aquarius time. Our communities and networks are going to be very important. But yeah, we won't really be, I don't believe we're going to be relying on the system as much as we have in the past. We are going to be relying on one another for our security into our future. Now, let's talk a little bit about this solar, this solar activity. Now, the sun flips polarity again at the end of 2024 into 2025. Now, when this happens, the sun has heightened activity. We already been seeing a lot of activity. I mean, we've even had some X-class solar flares, which are pretty big. We have coronal hole of the sun when it's facing Earth. We get hit with a lot of radiation as our magnetic field is weaker, because we're going through a magnetic pole shift here on Earth as well. And so with the heightened activity, there's going to be more energy coming to Earth, and it affects our communication, our internet, our satellites, our power, our electricity, this kind of stuff. And so there was like this huge event, probably the biggest event that ever happened here on Earth in response to these solar flares. It's called the Carrington event, which happened in 1859. And we had also a close call in 2012 when the coronal hole just missed us, right, by about 9 days, I believe. So the next big solar activity is predicted to be in 2024, 2025. Potentially, we can have, big solar flares. Now, the G5s are really disruptive. They're, I think, very similar to the Carrington event, which, there's possibilities of that happening. So being prepared. It could really, kind of mess up everything, the satellite, the grid. And this, I think, might be the reason for the Great Reset. There's been talk about the Great Reset. Humanity will have to be on the same team to survive. Okay. Especially even with this magnetic pole shift. Migrational animals won't really know where to go. So we need to be like thinking about our future of these migrational animals and make sure that we're preserving them and helping, them survive this major flip. We will see more of how we are all one. Building community and networks is very important. No man could go on alone in this new world. Our goal is diversified power, not one power or corrupt governments ruling over the people. We want small networks and groups with, leaders within each of those. So we're not all just, it's kind of like, it's better insurance, right? We have little networks going on than just one government ruling everything. Now, as you know, these things happen with the value system, and if we do have any major events, I mean, what do we do with, they're going to be printing more money or like giving it out, and then there's inflation, and like it's just like really crazy things to think about. And Uranus is transiting Taurus, and it is really changing up our value system. Jupiter's right behind it, like giving us education and luck and everything and expansion. I think that our home is very important. It's going to be highlighted now because like our home is our bodies and our soul, right? It's also our house, but what's outside of our house, our communities, what is outside of our communities, the leaders, right? So we want to make sure that we are creating a system that's really going to work for the new future and not keep repeating the same system that was built in 1700s and have been corrupt. Like it's not like it used to be. We are very limited on the who we get to choose as president. It's like a kid, and you're like, do you want the yellow pumpkin, or do you want the orange pumpkin? But you want this purple pumpkin, and we're not getting that choice. And so we want to be able to create a system where we can choose the purple pumpkin, right? It's a way of manipulating, and it's the illusion of choice when we really don't have a choice. So with that being said, I'm going to read the inside degrees for 4 degrees of Cancer, which is this full moon. Weeping willows by a pond, remembering so many things and personal, the collective, the ancestral karmic stories everywhere, held transfixed by the overshadowing of the stories. You seek shelter in the confines of the familiar, layers upon layer of alliance and sediment, memory and realization. A certain habit of going back to the beginning, wishing to stay there and rest undisturbed in the rippling waves of the past since and followed. You keep the home fires burning in a vigil of being fragranted. Why can I not say this word? This book always gets me. Fragrantly tied in with your many paths, so that there is no room for anything else, as what has always been continues in yet another variation, an enchanted life force dreaming outward. And then I will choose a card from this lovely deck here. I hope everyone is having a good holiday, that you guys are figuring out what you are going to achieve going forward for this new year. It's exciting. We have the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so this pertains to our money and our abundance. And the Knight is a young it's a step-by-step structure, efficiently, and reliability. So it looks like someone is on the road, but kind of like at a crossroads, maybe. And there's 2, 3, maybe 4 ways to go. And I think that there will be other paths that are going to slowly be illuminated during this full moon, where maybe we're only seeing 1 or 2 paths. So maybe 2 paths that we're looking at, but I think there's going to be some more that are going to pop up for us. Now, this indicates, if it's upright in the light, that you are steadily transforming your dreams into actions. Your wheels are turning, dedicated to a specific project already underway. You do best to proceed step by step. Your task is grounded in reality to match its tangible spirit with the quality of patience and reliability. Although this endeavor requires hard work, there is a clear approach to fall back upon. The incremental steps you commit to today will add up to have a significant impact over passing moons. Utilize systems to streamline your process and keep track of your progress. Continue to steadily assess what's efficient and what needs to be adjusted over time. This type of structure will carry you. The direction of the road you've already started to build is dependable, so keep going. The Knight of Pentacles is someone who sees things through, and so will you. The slower you go, the further you'll get. Now, in shadow, if it's reversed for you, suggests that your carefully solidified approach is lacking flexibility. Sticking to your plans too rigidly closes you off to the unexpected. Not all travel happens on highways. You do well to move with life's curves past shifting dunes instead. Change it up, remain receptive to the unknown, spontaneously try new things instead of accepting to make rusty old wheels turn. Dare to follow a road less traveled and see what horizons transpire. To be alive is a risk, so you might as well embrace it. The universe rewards courage by conjuring up much more interesting turns than we could have ever planned. All we have to do is surrender to the cosmos' wisdom and follow along its windy paths. The route ahead certainly won't be mundane. So the tip for this card is try using a habit tracker to monitor your progress, whether for healthy routines or work project. This will help keep you focused and organized. And we definitely need that right now, to be focused and organized as we try to meet these new goals. And yeah, there's just so much in store for us for this full moon in Cancer. I think it could be a little intense and we could be feeling a little nostalgic with maybe people that have passed on or people that aren't with us anymore. I think that there could be some disagreements or some arguments this Christmas because it is a full moon and Mercury is retrograde conjunct Mars. So we really just want to take a beat before speaking and just ask ourselves, what am I trying to say? And is it worth it? Like, sometimes we just have to let things go. And like, also forgiveness is important. And taking responsibility for like where we are now in our own actions and not being a victim of our past or our childhood, and really like taking control and accountability for our lives and our happiness, because ultimately we are the drivers of our destiny. And we might have things and energies that are out there, but ultimately we get to choose our path and choose how we see the world, right? Because we have equal amounts of negative and positive, right? The yin and the yang. We have dichotomy in the universe. And so if we focus, we have a choice whether we want to focus on the good or focus on the bad. We want to focus on the dark. Do we want to focus on the light? And so this is a choice. And I like to focus on the light. I like to focus on the good. I like to focus on the good in humanity and the good within myself, because the more that we focus, then that grows. So wherever the focus goes, energy flows, right? So let's just stay positive. We are in winter now. Was the winter solstice, Yule, when I just cut all my hair off and all the past. I've been growing it out since 2020, and I have been through a lot since then. And I just felt like that was a really good way to bring in this new beginning in the new year, Gregorian calendar year. Yeah, so the real new year begins in spring, and I am looking forward to reaping and planting those seeds, and where I'm doing all the footwork now. So, and I hope you are too. And until next time, your Lucid Living Coach, Karina. Peace out.